Wait. 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 What's poppin', fellas? What's crack-a-lackin'? Eh? Get something here for the background. Set the ambiance. Wolf said, I made it. I made it. I appreciate you being here, bro. Beyond the Bayou. Hello, Jed. What up, Bayou? Big Wolf, Big Bayou. I hate being bipolar. It's awesome. Very clever. Very clever. What's up with it? What up, Smelly? We got our boy Smelly in here. Wolf, this is the guy. This is the guy we told you about last night. Our new boy, Smelly, man. He's in here. What do you guys think? What do you guys think for the background here? Thinking I've been putting on like the Boondocks, but if you guys got something cooler we could put on. Oh, here's my buddy Ben. Here's my buddy Ben. He makes YouTube videos a little bit. Here he's playing the guitar. There's no volume, but he set a break from fishing. He's playing the guitar. Rocking the camo shirt too, bro. Go ahead and give him a like here. I can't leave a comment on the TV. Steph, what up, Steph? What's poppin'? Steph times 2. So I don't know. She must have got banned or something. Had to make a new account. You play any instruments, Jur? I mean, I don't, bro. I mean, me and my stepbrothers, we had a band when we were kids. I played the electric bass, but we could only play one song. We could play Brain Stew by Green Day. But if I wanted to learn something, I'm sure I could, but no. I mean, the fucking recorder, hot cross buns, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. I don't know. What do you guys think? What should we put on the back? Maybe we should put on some cooking. What about that? How about that? Like a cooking video or something, bro? What should I look up? Cooking completion. I'm gonna just put up cooking background. Let's see that. I'm kind of hungry right now. Cooking ground beef. Somebody had to figure that out, how to cook ground beef. Cooking bacon. Cooking background. Here we go. Here we go. The perfect sandwich ASMR. Let's do that. Let's do some cooking or whatever in the background. I got a fucking ad. Motherfucker. All right. We're live. What is poppin', boys and girls? Steph. Okay. 8-hour drive animation. You can find some good ones. Drive animation, like people driving a fucking car. Did you have a good day today, Jed? Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. Just chill. Chill last day. Super chill. Steph, been a while. I know. It has been a minute, man. Rich the fish. Definitely not that Serbian lady, please. Yeah, nothing spooky tonight. We're not doing the spooky night. Cause bro, I didn't have a nightmare last night, But I did have some dreams, and I kept waking up in a sweat. I was sweating last night. I don't know what for. I had this, bro, I kept having this dream, and I was hanging out with this guy who, he makes YouTube videos with his brother, and they're like, they're from Michigan, and they're just like goofy as fuck. And I was in the dream with one of the brothers, and we were just like running around, hanging out. And then I'd just wake up and be sweating. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like half of the dream, bro, half the dream was like a good dream. And then the other half of the dream, I was like anxious because I was like trying to fit in and like be cool. And every time I was talking, like nobody was laughing. I'm like, ugh. I was like, oh, fuck. Some Gordon Ramsay shit. I'm trying to sleep tonight. Yeah, no scary stuff. Young Goat. Yeah, some Gordon Ramsay shit. That'd be a good idea too. Who's the Serbian lady? Dude, Wolf, look up this video, the dancing Serbian lady. It's like a ghost video or something. It's pretty spooky. Pretty fucking spooky. I just had Pollo Loco. Crazy chicken. I like. Picante. Muy spicy. Huh? I don't know if you have that where you live, Jed. Pollo Loco? Sí, way. Sí, amigo. We have crazy chicken. I'm in a caloric deficit. Shout out cooking. Facts. I know we're all about to get hungry with this shit in the background, bro. He's like cooking at like a fucking campfire. Damn, Beyond the Bayou said Wolf's missing out on this Pollo Loco, man. Steph said, it's been a while. It's definitely been a while. I haven't been on social media much. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I had a dream. I woke up, my hair fell out. That was a nightmare. Dude, I'd say look that up. See what that means in a dream, you know? They say, like, knock on wood, I've never had a dream where you, like, lose your teeth. You guys have ever heard of that? Like, people have dreams where they lose their teeth. And it's supposed to mean, like, you feel like you don't have control in your life or something like that. You know, I don't know. That's just what they say. Is that true? I don't know. What happened to the guy that was going for a 9-day water fasting? Hope he is okay. That's our boy Fly. Fly? I don't know. From the way he said it in the chat, it sounds like he's not doing that anymore. And also, I have a water. Green water. Verde agua. Breaking my rules. I know Wolf knows, bro. I remember I made that rule that no drinking on live or whatever. But I'm not drunk. So I had a couple beers, man. I bought a 6-pack. And I've been chilling with my roommates and shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to go live. I'm a fucking grown-ass man. If I want to have a couple beers and go on live, I'm allowed to do that. I just don't want to be hammered. Because then I get crazy. You know what I mean? My dreams are so abnormal. It's like abstract movie. Dude, I have super vivid dreams. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always had super vivid dreams, man. I've had a bunch of weird ones. But I like to dream, though. I do enjoy it. I mean, even if they are, you know, kind of strange sometimes, but I think it's cool. It's fun to wake up and be like, what the fuck happened? Because you try to remember everything, but then as the day goes on, you forget your dream, you know? Steph said, I don't want to look it up. Steph, what'd it say? What'd it say about if you lose your hair in a dream? I wonder if it's the same premise of feeling like you're not in control in your life or something. Because that's what it is when they say when your teeth fall out in a dream. I had a dream all my teeth fell out. Yeah. In front of the mirror. That is scary as fuck, though. Dude, if I had a dream like that, knock on wood, I would be terrified. That's no water, Jed. Si es agua, no cerveza, wey. No cerveza, silencio, amigos. Okay. Dreams about losing hair often symbolize significant stress, anxiety, or feeling of losing control in your waking life. Well, that explains it. Well, yeah. So the same premise of losing your teeth in a dream. Feeling anxious, stuff like that. Well, Steph, why do you feel like that? Why do you feel like that, you know? Let's get to the root cause of what is happening. All right. Pizza is the code for when you're getting hammered. Ah, I gotta go make a frozen pizza, bro. If I'm getting too drunk, gotta get a frozen pizza. Fucking dude, that was my worst live. That was my worst live ever, bro. When I was fucking hammered and I was getting all riled up, and I was like, I gotta go eat a fucking frozen pizza. And then I ate the frozen pizza, calmed me down, but then I got riled up again. And then I got a death threat. I got a death threat on this first death threat I've ever gotten. First and only. Yeah, that was crazy, bro. That was crazy. I definitely woke up the next day and was definitely peeking out the window because I was like, fuck, bro. I've never had anybody say they were going to kill me. That freaked me out, man. Why are you wearing a sweater? Is it cold where you live? Bro, our fucking crib is cold as fuck right now. I'll probably take it off at some point because when I keep the door closed and I'm on here, like it gets hot in my room. But dude, I was sitting down in the living room. My roommate Lewis was playing Ghost of Tsushima. If you guys have ever heard of that game, it's a dope, super dope game, a samurai game. He's the first ninja. So he comes from the samurai code, and then they get invaded, and then he turns into a ninja. But he was down there playing, and I was like, bro, is it fucking chilly in here to you? And he's like, yeah, but it feels good. And I'm sitting on the couch, and like, bro, I'm freezing. I'm sitting in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm literally freezing. I was like, bro, I gotta go grab a fucking jacket. And I'm drinking ice cold water. Mexican water. Mexico agua. Seaway. I wish it was cold here. Yeah. Dude, don't say that, because it's going to be cold here soon. In the next couple months, it's going to start getting really fucking cold, and then you're going to be like, damn, I wish it was fucking hot. Kroger frozen pizza. I like the, dude, I used to fuck with the DiGiorno's, but actually my new favorite is Freschetta. You guys ever had the Freschetta frozen pizzas? They're cheaper than DiGiorno, and I think they're better. I think they're better pizzas. So that's what I buy. They're like usually they're like $5. Because the fucking DiGiorno, they used to be cheap, and now they're like $10 at the store for a frozen pizza. Bro, come on. Because you can order a pizza for like $6 more from like a restaurant and it'd be like good. So yeah, I buy the Freschettas, bro. I think I like them. I think they're good. The Red Robin pizzas, I don't really fuck with those. I don't like the cheap, like the thin pizzas. Not for me, man. I could eat it though. If you gave me a frozen pizza and said, eat this, I'll make it happen. I'll eat it. I used to have sleep paralysis and EHS often. I know what sleep paralysis is, but I don't know what EHS is. But sleep paralysis, I've never had it, but that sounds fucking terrifying, bro. That sounds scary as fuck. Dang, first death threat, rookie numbers. Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I mean, yeah, I've pissed some people off on my days, but I've never had any. Well, actually, bro, there was one time when I was driving in Columbus and I was driving in my BMW. I thought I was hot shit. You know, I was like 20 and I was like, yeah, I got my BMW. I'm hot shit. And this dude in front of me was just driving like an idiot. I don't know. He's at a green light, wasn't driving or something. So I honked at him and was like, eh, eh. And then he sped the fuck off. And I caught up with him. And then I was honking at him as I was behind him. I pulled up right next to him. And this dude started like talking shit out of his window. And I was like, suck my dick, bitch. And he was like, I'll fucking kill you, white boy. Bro, it was this black dude with dreads. He's like, I'll fucking kill you, white boy. And bro, I fucking hit the gas and was like, oh, fuck. And bro, he was driving next to me and he was swerving like he was going to hit my car. And bro, I was driving so fast. And then I took the exit and drove off. And I was driving behind the wheel and I was like, I'll never do that again. I was like, I'll never fucking do that again. Bro, that scared the fuck out of me, bro. Said, I'll kill you, white boy. And I was like, oh. I was freaking out, man. He probably was a gang member. I doubt it. Yeah, Big Will, I kept trying to divert you to get the pizza so you wouldn't engage with that guy. Yeah, bro. Is Big Will in here too? No, he's not in here. Is he? No. I wish. I wish our boy Big Will was in here. But yeah, I know Wolf was like, bro, he's like, Jed, go eat some food, man. Go eat some pizza. And I was like, no, fuck this guy. I was like, fuck it, this fucking motherfucker. Yeah, I was freaking out. Jed, you should go down to Mexico with your basketball buddy. Dude, I'm low-key. Bro, I called him on the phone the other day. Or I texted him. I said, hey, I was like, how's it going down there? And he called me. And I was thinking about it, bro. I'd have to get my passport. So I think it's like 4 to 6 weeks or something to get your passport. And I'd have a place to stay. All I'd have to pay for is a flight and comida, food. You know what I mean? But I don't know, bro. That might be... He said it's sick down there, bro. He said it's a little bit different because last time he was in Mexico City. So he's in a different part of Mexico right now. And he just got there. He just got there like probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. They've already played their games. I think he said they're 1-2 or 2-1, something like that. I think it might have been 2-1 because they play like I believe, I might be remembering wrong, but they play a 3-game series. Or maybe it's a 2-game series, bro. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But I think, bro, it would be cool because when he was in Mexico City last time, I was thinking about visiting him and I didn't go, which his twin brother, my old roommate Ben went down there to visit him in Mexico City. And I was like, fuck, bro, I should have went, man. So we'll see, bro. I got a couple different vacation ideas, stuff that I want to do. I'm trying to decide what I want to do for my next trip. Because I'm thinking of either a solo trip, like go somewhere on vacation by myself, or I'm thinking, go to Mexico and visit my buddy. So we'll see. We'll see, bro. He said, dang, huh? He said, road rage is so ridiculous, but so real in the moment. Like it's never that deep. Dude, I've gotten into it like twice. That one dude, he was like, I'm gonna kill you, white boy. That was when I got into a road rage thing. And there was another time when I was in high school. This guy was speeding, and I was driving with my buddy, Demetrius. And, bro, we ended up catching up with the dude. I kept honking at him and shit. And he got out of his car and walked up to my window. And this is, if you guys remember, like, the pictures I showed you last night, like, what I looked like when I was 17. I was fucking huge. And this dude, like, he got, like, almost all the way up to my window. And then, bro, he was talking shit to my buddy sitting in the seat next to me. He was like, fuck you. He's like, you ugly motherfucker. And my buddy Demetrius was like, what the fuck, bro? He's like, I wasn't even driving. And then I told him, I was like leaning out the window. I was like, get back in your fucking car, you fucking pussy, whatever. Stuff like, I was being stupid. And, bro, and then it turns out I got home and my dad was like, yeah, he's like, there was this big road rage thing at this light. And I was like, that was me. I was like, he's like, my dad was like, this dude got out of his car and went up to, I was like, that was me. I was like, I was there, Dad. Yeah, road rage it's not worth it, bro. It is. Dude, there was a guy here in my town. I don't know if it was in town or outside of town, whatever. And there was like a road rage thing and some guy ended up getting shot and killed, bro, in the road rage thing. And I saw the video. Dude, this dude was getting the crap beat out of him. Like, the other guy was, like, beating the shit out of this dude. And the guy who was getting beat up ran back to his car and grabbed his gun and shot the guy. And he went to jail. He went to jail because he could have gotten his car and drove away. But because he didn't, he's going to jail. I'm like, you watch the video, and he's literally getting the shit beat out of him. And he went to his car, grabbed his gun, shot the guy. And they're like, yeah, you're going to jail, buddy. So, yeah, if you get into... I just had a guy, this was... yesterday, when I was telling you guys yesterday when I drove out there to get that table and it was sold by the time I got there, I fucking turned onto the highway and I was going plenty fast, bro. Like, I turned from the red light onto the highway and merged to the left lane, and this dude was flying. He was going super fast and he swerved around me and stuck his middle finger out the window. And I was like, all right. I was like, all right, bro. Damn small town. Bro, it is a small town, but it's not. Because, like, technically in my county, there's like 40,000 people, but it's still a small town. You know what I mean? Like, It's hard to explain. Like when I was growing up, where I live is like it is like a small kind of town, but it's exploded. There was a point in time, it was like right after graduation from high school, that where I live was like one of the fastest growing counties in the country. There's so many people moving here. So as of today, it's like I think it's a little bit over 40,000 people live here, like 42,000 or something like that. So still a small town, but not. It's weird, bro. Like where I live has changed a lot. I buy toppings and make my flatbread and then use the Italian sugo di pomarejo, where it's not cooked in tomato sauce beforehand. It's delicious. That's how the sauce is made raw and on the oven. Oh, we're talking about pizza. Steph, it is, but lucid dream, it helps. I've had one lucid dream in my life. When you become aware you can fight it, now you can catch it before it happens, but it becomes harder to fall asleep again. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I've never had sleep paralysis. I had a lucid dream one time when I was younger. I was like a kid when I had it. And I still remember the dream. I was sleeping, obviously I'm asleep, and I'm in this dream. I'm in like a white room, and I was like, I'm in a dream. And I stood up on a desk in the middle of the white room. There was a desk in the middle of the white room, and I was like, I'm in a dream. And then I closed my eyes to change it or whatever. And then I ended up, it spawned me into, if you guys remember this old video game called Turok, and it's like a dinosaur game, like a prehistoric dinosaur game or whatever. And I was in Turok, and I was getting chased around by a little dinosaur, like a tiny little dinosaur. And I kept closing my eyes, trying to change it, but it wouldn't change. And that's all I remember. That's all I remember. But I was going to tell you guys something else too. I can't remember what I was going to say. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Marky Mark. What's up, bro? I grew up in a small town. It was about 18,000 in city limits and 130,000 including metropolitan area. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Okay. Yeah, so you're not super far from me. I mean, I live here in Ohio. So I've been to Indianapolis before. Or fuck, that's Indiana. Pennsylvania. Fuck. I've been to what's the capital of Pennsylvania? Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. We were in Warminster, and then we went to the city of Harrisburg. Okay. No, I'm not thinking of Harrisburg. I'm thinking of fucking... Okay, I guess not the capital. What's the most popular city? What is the most popular city in Pennsylvania? Motherfucker. I can't remember, bro. Pittsburgh. No, I didn't go to Pittsburgh. No, I went to... Oh my god. Where the fuck did I go, bro? Oh my god, this is driving... Philly! Philadelphia, bro. I went to Philly. Duh. There we go. Philly is where I went. Yes, I went to Philadelphia. Okay, yeah. That was when we were like 19. I drove out there to see this girl. Me and my roommate, we went. And I was like, bro, it's going to be the best trip ever. And it was fun. But it was kind of fucked up. It was kind of a fucked up trip, bro. Damage. What's poppin', bro? Jed is in Medina, right? No, not Medina. Not Medina. Outside of Columbus. I live outside of Columbus. About 30 minutes, about 30, 35 minutes from Columbus is where I live. Medina, Ohio. I don't know where that's at, actually. I know I've heard of Medina before, but I couldn't tell you where it's at. Boston, I've never been to Boston before. But yeah, we went to Philly. We went to Philadelphia, bro. That fucking thought that said Jed is Medea. I could be. But bro, when we went to Philly, bro, Philly was fucked up, bro. Philly was Schittsburg. Exactly. Schittsburg, Ohio is where I'm from, bro. Bro, Philly was wild, bro. It was definitely a city, definitely a big city. And hella homeless people. Hella fucked up homeless people, bro. Like, dude, me and my buddy, we were at the crosswalk, and there was this dude talking, and we're like, oh, he's just like talking to somebody. And then when we turned back because he didn't cross the street, motherfucker was talking to nobody. He was just having a conversation like out loud with himself, and he was like a crazy ass homeless dude. And then when we were at the train station, the subway, this dude came up and asked me for some food, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I'll get you some food. And the lady behind the counter was like, don't fucking give him any food. He was like, mind your own business, bitch. That's exactly what he said, word for word. That is what he said. He said, mind your own business, bitch. And me and my roommate, we were just like, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we just started walking away. It's Medina, not Medina. It's Mediana. Mediana. And I looked up before this live if you can drink alcohol on live. And it said adults on YouTube can drink alcohol responsibly on YouTube Live. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink it responsibly. I'm going to be an adult. And we're going to stay chill. But fucking, what'd you guys do today? You guys do anything cool or got anything? I didn't do a whole lot today, man. I was just chilling, bro. It was a pretty chill day. Ran to the post office. My roommate came home. He's been hanging out. He's been staying with his girlfriend for the last like almost 2 weeks, bro. He's been over there like every single day. So he finally came home tonight. He had jury duty today. And my grandma was in there during the jury duty. She was like he said there's like the box or the booth or whatever where the jurors sit. And then there's like extras. So my roommate Lewis was an extra and my grandma was in the box. And he said they were drilling her with questions. Because my grandma, she's very articulate. She's very smart. My grandma's very, very, very smart. And so she was answering a lot of questions and just talking a lot and stuff. So they ended up calling her back. She's going to be there till Friday for this case. It was some dude, it was arson. Some guy, or I don't think I'm allowed to tell you guys that, but it's fine. But some dude who burned down a condo was on trial. There was this girl giving birth on live on YouTube the other week. That is insane. I hope it wasn't the angle of her legs open, because that would be... Watching a baby come out like that, be crazy. Hear that, Steph? Stay chill, no fighting. Yeah. So, cerveza es nada? See, beer is nothing. Beer is nothing. Mixed. What's up, Mixed? What's poppin', bro? Excuse me. But, you know, just hanging out, man. Your Spanish is good, Jed. Gracias, amigo. Gracias, mi amor. Shooting in the new In-N-Out in Southern Idaho. Oh, hell no. It's Medina, not Medina. It's Medina. Oh, Medina. It's Medina, not Medina. Okay, Medina. Medina, Ohio? Maybe I don't know where that is. In-N-Out used to be a California thing. Dude, I would love some In-N-Out, bro. There was this old bodybuilder I used to watch. Colin Von Moger is his name. Maybe you guys have heard of him before. But when I was in high school, he was like the shit. And he would go to In-N-Out. He'd get like a couple burgers, couple fries, and like a big ass thing of milk. Like, bro, that looks so fucking good, bro. I would go crazy on some In-N-Out. You do well with the girls in Mexico, Jed. I hope, man. I hope. We'll see, bro. Like I said, dude, my buddy who plays basketball in Mexico, he doesn't speak any Spanish. He doesn't know any fucking Spanish, which is insane. I'm like, this is your second season in Mexico, and I'm like, you don't know any Spanish? Because, the announcers speak Spanish. Some of the interviewers speak Spanish, like the girls. Because he went on a date with a chick. He's like, yeah, she spoke English, like, okay. I'm like, why don't you speak Spanish, man? I'm like, you got to game her up a little bit, bro. Talking her native tongue, dude. This guy, Trump, said, shut up. Cállate, pinche madre. I need to chill with the energy drinks. I've been having them every day. I need to switch back to coffee. Yeah, I think if you have one energy drink, I think that's okay. You know what I mean? But more than one a day is a lot. So I do coffee. I was on 3 cups of coffee. I drink half a pot in the morning, but now I'm down to 2 cups. So I just drink 2 cups to get my day started because I was spending too much time drinking coffee. Because I'd wake up and drink a pot of coffee. It might take me like an hour, 2 hours. Because I'd just be chilling. I'd be reading my book. I'd be journaling. I'd be walking around the crib, just doing whatever, sipping coffee. So I cut it back to 2, just so I can drink it and then get on with my day. Not a fan of the fries, as is, but I like double animal style. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds pretty damn good. I like the Cajun. I like the Cajun style fries. They put all the seasoning and shit on them, bro. Fuck. I gave up coffee for Celsius energy drinks because they taste great and they work. I've never had a Celsius before. I know my old roommate, he used to fuck with the Celsius hard, but I never had them. Mick said, yeah, Colin Von Moger. Dude, he was the shit back in the day, bro. He kind of went a little crazy. I think, but Mexican girls are passionate but feisty. Facts. Mucho fuego. Muy fire. A lot of fire. Thought Colin was going to be the next Arnold. That's what everybody was saying. This is the new Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, but... And he was... he looked crazy. He was super big and shit. And then when he tore his bicep with Chris Bumstead, they were doing the double curl. They had 405 on the bar. Tore his bicep, and that was literally it was the downfall of his career, bro. He started going crazy after that shit, man. Keep drinking those pots of coffee. Facts. In-N-Out is amazing, but Whataburger is the king. I like my Sonic, and I do like Jack in the Box as well. Bro, I've had Sonic once before, but I can't remember what it tasted like. I've never had Whataburger, and I've never had Jack in the Box either. They just opened up a Bojangles up the highway or whatever, but I haven't tried it yet. I heard it's good. Cajun is Five Guys, right? Yeah, Five Guys is good. I have had Five Guys, and it's good, but it's hamburgers, man. It's hamburgers and fries. It's kind of hard to fuck up, We have a smash burger here in town, and it is delicious. It is very good. Never had In-N-Out. I like Chick-fil-A. Same. I fuck with some Chick-fil-A, bro. Bro, the Chick-fil-A, the breakfast, a chicken biscuit, the fucking fried chicken with the biscuit, and you put some jelly on that bitch. Gas. Oh my God. Well, Five Guys is the business, isn't it? Bro, Five Guys is good. It is good. It's a little expensive, but it's good. Bojangles is so good. I gotta try it out. I'm still on the Cane's, man. I still love Cane's chicken, bro. They've always done me right, man. Get the Caniac combo. No slaw, extra toast, and an extra sauce. Do the sweet tea, half sweet, half unsweet. Fire. Do you think Jed will be a good pastor? I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'd like to think. I've had a couple beers, so I'm not thinking straight right now. But if I was stone cold sober, I'd say yeah, I'd be good at that. But I've had a couple brewskis, and I'm kind of a little loose. I'm a little loose right now. Bojangles fried chicken. Damn, I miss the South. I gotta try that shit out. You guys are telling me Bojangles is really good. I gotta try it. Five Guys is good, but getting expensive. Yeah, facts. Facts. Wolf isn't the way. Wolf isn't the way. Sponsored by Raising Cane's. Dude, I wish. I would take a Raising Cane sponsor all day, bro. That would be lit. Best spicy fries is from a local cafe here. Their fry sauce is great, but if I had them, it's a huge portion of my caloric budget. Dude, fuck it, man. Eat those fries. I love me some French fries. Chicken tenders and fries. Hamburger and fries. Shit, man. Eggs and fries. Eggs and tater tots. I do eggs and tater tots all the time. Delicious. Damn, it said Wolf. This is the way. This is the way. Raising Cane's used to be cheap. I know. Bro, it was $9.99 for a Caniac. $9.99. Now it's like 16 something for a Caniac. Like damn near 20 bucks, bro. Used to be $9.99. We used to hit the gym. Me and my buddies, we would go to the fucking YMCA, and then we'd hit our lift, and then we would smoke weed, and then we'd drive out to a town that's really close to us that had, before we had Cane's in our town, we had to drive like 20 minutes to Cane's. We'd all get Caniac combos after the gym. Back in high school, bro, we were living the dream, bro. Would you ever take a gambling sponsorship like DraftKings? I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that, bro. Because I'm not a gambler and I don't like gambling. I don't think it's a good idea. So I personally would not. Even if they threw a bunch of money in my face, because I mean, bro, like money is not everything. And there's also other offers and stuff that I could get. But I wouldn't do DraftKings because that doesn't resonate with me, bro. I don't think it's a good thing to promote. I think it's bad. I think gambling is bad. You know what I mean? I think it's stupid. I think it's a waste of money. So no, I wouldn't do it. And dude, it's well over 50%. I can't remember the exact percentage of like guys under 30 years old or guys under 40 years old that have like a gambling account. And it's like most guys, like over 50% of guys have a gambling account. And it is a fucking waste of money. Gambling is if you want to lose money, gamble. You know what I mean? So I think it's stupid. I think it's a sin. I mean, I'm a sinner, trust me, bro, trust me. But gambling is one thing that I've never done it before. I don't plan on doing it. I think it's a bad idea, and I definitely wouldn't promote it, City Bird is where you want to get your chicken tenders and fries. I've never heard of that before. Sounds good, though. City Bird? Yeah, sounds pretty good. Private equity has ruined so many restaurants, us fast food places. Dude, even freaking, bro, McDonald's is expensive, dude. Like, if you got like a quarter pounder and fries and a drink, like, dude, there's so many better places you could go for the money. Like, it's not even, like, it's not even worth it no more. The dollar menu? Dude, I used to get 6 McChickens. 6 McChickens, only ketchup, and just delete them bitches, bro. Because it'd be $6. But now, like, dude, you get a couple McChickens, it's not $1 no more, man. Which is crazy, because it's a fucking McChicken. How the fuck does this cost more than $1? It happens beyond. I use speech to text because I have a brain condition, so cannot type or use my hands. Oh shit, man. Wait, man, that's for that fucking Siri. I know our boy Fly last night was making fun of me for using Siri on my Apple Watch. And I'm like, hey, man. I'm like, Siri is like some James Bond shit. You can just talk into your wrist and send a message. I'm like, that's literally James Bond, Damage where they have that East Coast. Well, I know Damage. He lives here in Ohio, too. I gamble on me, and it turned out to be the right decision being retired at 51. Financials in my game. I mean, shit, man. I mean, I don't agree with gambling. I don't think it's a good idea. But I can't tell you guys what to do. You know what I mean? If that's how you want to spend your money and shit, man, like, I can't stop you. Like I said, do I personally support it? Do I think it's a good idea? No. You know, but everybody I know gambles. I mean, literally, all my buddies in my friend group, bro, they all do that sports gambling shit. And they're like, "Oh, I just won this parlay." And I'm like, "How many did you lose?" They don't ever tell you that. They don't ever tell you. My roommate, bro, he was on a hot streak and he had made like a couple $100 or something like that. I haven't heard him talk about gambling. That's all he was talking about for like a week was, "Oh, I'm hitting this parlay, bro. Like I just cashed out last night, bro. Like I'm fucking up." And I haven't heard him talk about gambling for fucking weeks. So that tells me that he's on a losing streak, you know. City Birds here in Southern Ohio, but they're branching out now that it's such a big hit. Bro, I love the name, bro. City Birds. Like that sounds like good chicken tenders and fries right there, bro. That's how you got big in high school, Jed. Exactly. Dude, the Chipotle. I used to hit the Little Caesars $5 pizzas. I used to get the Caniac for $9.99. And Chipotle, you guys remember when a Chipotle burrito was $6.50? So you could get a fucking Chipotle burrito with a little bit of extra meat, not double meat, but you're like, "Hey, can I get some extra chicken on there?" For $6.50, man. And now it's damn near $10. Use your tricorder, Jed. What is a tricorder? I don't know what that is, bro. Is that what I'm using right now? My gimbal? Is that a tricorder? Is that what that is? Have you ever watched Tombstone? I have. I've seen that movie. Dude, Chipotle was like $7. Now it's $11. I know. Damon said, "But you got to be near the phone because if you're not, then it'll lose signal." No, facts. Yeah, sometimes you be saying, bro, sometimes I'll say a word into my watch or my phone or something, and it just will not pick it up. It'll just be the completely wrong word. And I'm like, fuck it, forget it. I'll just fucking type it. Can't believe you have a six-pack eating all that. You have good genes. Well, I mean, I ate healthy too. You know what I mean? It's not like that was my primary diet, but it was like a once a week thing. Because we used to lift it was like a Wednesday or I don't know, some day of the week. We used to get together and like run to Cane's after the workout. That was like something we did once a week. So, I mean, but through the day, I mean, I always ate healthy food, and then most nights of the week. And then I was super duper active, and then I had good genetics and stuff on top of that, absolutely. But I trained super intense. I did cardio. I ate good most of the time. So, and I was young. I mean, I was 17. So, like, you can kind of eat whatever. I had such a high metabolism back then, which I still do, knock on wood, but I can't say I've noticed a change in my metabolism yet, but I'm sure in the next 5 years, once I get past 30, I'm sure I'll notice a change, I remember when they were good quality. Quality seems to have gone down with Chipotle. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. Bro, Chipotle back in the day used to bang. It was so fucking good, bro. Jay, what I meant was I don't gamble either besides on myself. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, same. Yeah, same. I do. I gamble on myself sometimes, Sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to gamble with life, gamble with your decisions, and gamble on yourself, But, yeah, no. I agree with you there, Damage. Doc Holliday was my favorite character in the movie. Yeah, he's a good character, man. What's that one dude who had tuberculosis? Is that Doc Holliday? Or Doc Holliday, I think, is the main character. And they had that other guy that had tuberculosis, had that super hot girlfriend or whatever. We used to drink 40-ounce malt liquor while lifting heavy. Yeah. I've had some workouts like that, some beer workouts, for sure, man. Do you ever think you'll bulk up again? Oh, for sure. For sure, bro. I'm low-key, because I've taken these last 3 weeks off the gym just to rest my body. Because I had my shoulder was bothering me, and my knee. My elbows a little bit my elbows were getting a little, if I was hitting triceps and stuff, my elbows would kind of bother me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take a couple weeks off here. I'm getting hot. So I was like, let me take a couple weeks off, rest up my body and shit. And so I am thinking about it. I am thinking about putting on some weight because I'm sitting at like 185, 187 right now. And when I graduated high school, I was 208. That was the biggest I've ever been, is 208. So I think getting up to like about 200, I think would be a pretty good fit for me. But I just hate losing my six pack, bro. Like when I was in high school and I was 208, like I still had a six pack. But every time I've bulked up and been 200 pounds since then, I still have a six pack, but I'm like a little gushy, a little, you know what I'm saying? So, but I think bulking up though, it is something I think about. Definitely something I consider doing. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more size and strength. You know what I'm saying? I'll be your Huckleberry. Yeah, that guy with tuberculosis who said that. I'll be your Huckleberry. I had TB since I was 7, but it's dormant. No way, bro. Is that true? Can you have to? No way. You can have tuberculosis and it be dormant? I don't know about that. I watched Tombstone for the 100th time today. Raising Hell. It sounds like that's your favorite movie right there. My favorite movie is Logan. The fucking movie. I love that movie. That is a really good movie. I always have to have my blood checked for tuberculosis. Bro, I've never heard of that before. I didn't know that was a thing, man. I'm sorry to hear that. You know what I mean? I wish you luck on everything. You know, damn, I didn't know that was a thing, dude. Honestly, I thought tuberculosis was pretty much eradicated. Latent TB. Okay, latent TB. Okay, so that just means like dormant tuberculosis. Damn, bro. I didn't know that, man. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. You know, shit, man. Well, I hope you live a long, healthy life. You know what I mean? I hope it doesn't cause any complications or anything like that as you get older. I don't know how I got it. Yeah, because it's transmitted through like the air, technically, right? It's not like, maybe it can be transmitted like a cold. Like I said, I'm not too brushed up on that topic, but if you want to tell me, let me know, man. Educate me here, bro. I had a vaccine injury as a baby, stopped speaking for almost 2 years, and didn't learn to walk until I was like 4. God damn, from a vaccine? Holy fuck, man. I know me, bro. I'm not vaccinated for COVID. I didn't get the COVID vaccine, bro. Because they're saying now, bro. They're saying now it's kind of a hot topic, bro. They got like Dr. Fauci or whatever on the fucking, in front of Congress, because they say those COVID vaccines were bad. You have the MMR vaccine. What is the MMR? What is the MMR vaccine for? Be on the bike said I never even coughed. That's weird, man. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I didn't know. I mean, can it get better? Can it go away? You know? Measles, mumps, and okay, like the measles vaccine. Okay, because I think pretty much everybody has to get that as a baby. The other body said no, so it won't go away. That is fucking crazy, bro. Can it flare up? Is that possible? Could you be like a 60-year-old man and just be like, I have fucking tuberculosis? I'm your Huckleberry, say when. It still says I have latent in my blood work. Dude, that's crazy, man. Like I said, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. That sucks. That sucks, man. I wish I had something better to say, dude. You know? I'll be praying for you, man. I always hope you're going to be healthy and stuff like that. So, and if you ever have problems or anything, you can always talk in here and stuff, dude. We always got your back, bro. No one in my family has it. That's weird. Maybe you got it at daycare or something. I don't know. Grade school, I don't know. Something, maybe there was another kid who had it, Lucky me. Thanks, Jed. Oh, dude, for sure. For sure, bro. Like I said, man, we always got your back, bro. If I go back in time, I think I'd opt out for all vaccines. I'd say it's for religious purposes or something. Grade school, most likely. Yeah, probably from like another kid, man. You can have childhood tuberculosis and it could be dormant for decades. Bro, that's scary. That's actually scary, bro. I've never heard that before. It can be treated, but the immune system can't really eradicate it. But we have medicine that can now. I'm scared though. Dude, that would scare me too. That would scare me too, man. That's always something looming over your head, dude. Like, am I gonna get fucking sick out of nowhere? Raising Hell said, "Don't be scared, man." I like that. I agree. Put your faith in God, man, and don't be, don't be scared. God tells you not to live your life in fear. You know what I mean? That is true. I gotta plug my phone in here. Well, I try not to think about it. I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea to try to not think about it, Because when you think about something, you give it energy and you give it power, and it's better to, it's like almost better to not think about it so that it doesn't become a thing. You know what I'm saying? Beyond it's treatable with antibiotics, seek a doctor. Yeah, maybe or maybe there's even like some Eastern medicine or something, bro. Like something that there could be some sort of alternative medicine that can get rid of it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but beyond, you'll be okay. The medical field moves fast. I have a rare disease that causes me to be in the hospital quite often, and they always get me back on my feet. That is true. I'll agree with damage on that, man. It is the medical field it is moving fast, man. And the stuff that they can treat nowadays is crazy. Stuff that would have killed you 20, 30 years ago or beyond, they can get a grasp on it, man, and definitely help you. But damn, man. I hope you live a long life. Yeah. I hope Beyond does too, man. All you guys. I hope all you guys live long, happy lives, you know what I mean? Happy, healthy lives. Medical tech advances quickly. Yep. Because it can be dormant for a long time or a lifetime, but the right antibiotics can cure it now. I feel better now talking to you guys. Well, dude, Beyond, I appreciate you sharing that, man. I know you've never shared that before. I'm glad that you feel comfortable enough to at least tell us that, and sometimes that's all you got to do. Sometimes you got to speak up, man, and, and learn something new. All these guys in here are telling you, there's potentially an antibiotic or something that can help you and stuff like that, and, giving you support and shit. So I think that's cool. I think that's cool that you feel comfortable enough to share that with us, man. Shoot, man. Yeah, I don't know the vaccines and stuff like that, bro. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know enough about it, bro. There's some people say like, the vaccines and stuff nowadays, they cause autism or whatever, bro. But is it possible? Maybe, I know the COVID vaccine, like I didn't get the COVID vaccine not because I was anti-vax or whatever. I mean, I was in the sense that I felt like it was stupid. I'm like, all these young, healthy people are getting vaccinated for no reason, But I was just looking at it logically. I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm not at risk. And if you get the vaccine, you can still get COVID. So I was like, why? Why would I get it? And people are like, oh my God, you're anti-vax. And I'm like, well, just explain it to me. I'm like, if you can get the vaccine, but then you can still get sick, and I'm young and I'm healthy, I'm not at risk. I was like, why would I? They're like, oh, you got to protect other people. I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to fucking get a vaccine, stick some chemicals in my body to protect other people. I need to protect myself first and foremost. You know what I mean? I come first when it comes to other people and my health. So if I don't think it's a good idea, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I didn't get vaccinated because I didn't have to. My job didn't require it, and I just didn't see the need in it. It just didn't make any sense to me. And fast forward a couple years later, and people are saying, "Oh, this vaccine was dangerous." I'm like, yeah, well, I could have told you that, man, because they came up with it too quickly. You know what I mean? Like it takes years to come up with a vaccine, and during COVID, they're like, "Boom, here's a vaccine. Fucking inject yourself with this." And the same thing with the flu shot. You can get a flu shot and then still get the flu. So why the fuck would I get a flu shot? That doesn't make any sense to me, dude. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I wasn't necessarily anti-vax. I just thought it was dumb. I just could not see the reasoning behind it. Like, it just didn't, to me, it just didn't make any logical sense. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And then I never needed it. You know, they're like, oh, you need a vaccine to get on a plane. No, you don't, because a couple years later, I flew down to Fort Lauderdale, and it didn't matter. Jobs don't require it anymore. Nobody requires a vaccine, a COVID vaccine. And all these people ran and got it because they're a bunch of sheep. Literally a bunch of sheep, bro. And they used fear. They used fear to get people to do it too. If you don't get this vaccine, you're going to lose your job. That's fear mongering. That is controlling people through fear. And that is wrong. If my job came to me and they said, you have to do this or else you don't have a job, I'd say, hey, I guess I don't have a job anymore. I guess I'll go find another fucking job. Because you don't dictate what I do outside of work. Doesn't matter what the fuck you say. If you say I can't work here because I'm not vaccinated, well, guess what? I don't work here no more. You know, it's so crazy that so many people let their employers bully them. They got bullied into doing that through fear. That's exactly what they did, bro. That's the whole thing with COVID. It was fear. They scared the fuck out of people, and they were scared. And when you're scared, you don't make good decisions, you know. And also, I think too, bro, like I said, being a sheep, you know, think for yourself, man. Just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean it's a good idea. Think for yourself. Have your own thoughts, man. Like, literally. Like I said, being young and healthy, and you can still get sick after you get the vaccine. Okay, let's put these pieces together. Doesn't really make sense for me to get vaccinated. But so many people fucking did it, bro. I had to do it because of my job. You don't have to do anything. You did it because you're afraid to lose your job. You can always find another job. I promise. I promise you can always find another employer. But that's what people tell me all the time. I had to for my job. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything for your job. You know what I mean? Let me get up here. Crazy how I went from talking about a movie to talking about beyond having TB and helping him feel better. Hey man, that's the power of conversation right there. You know, that's exactly what conversation is for. Is to get to problems and share things and make each other feel better. You know, have a laugh, give each other support. That's the power of conversation right there. And there's so many problems that you can solve through conversation, without fighting, without calling each other names and stuff like that. Conversation, man, it can get you from A to B. You know, but a lot of people don't have that ability, man. A lot of people can't hold a conversation, bro. Or especially even just holding a conversation, but a lot of people can't disagree and have a conversation of them disagreeing. It turns into an argument. You know, it's like, hey man, we're having a discussion. It doesn't need to be a fight here. But that's how people are, man. Beyond Body said, thanks y'all, I appreciate it. For sure, bro. For sure. You know, like I said, bro, 100% we got your back. All you guys. Everybody in here. You know, we all got each other's backs and shit, man. So if anybody feels like they need to share something or they're going through something and you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, you can talk to us here, man. You can let us know here, bro. Tell me, tell each other, talk amongst yourselves and shit, man. Help each other out, support each other. That's what we do, man. That's what we motherfucking do in here, bro. We bring people together. We don't separate people. We bring them together. Well, is that corny or cool? The problem is the vaccines are loaded with formaldehyde as a preservative, and formaldehyde can cause severe health problems, especially for a child. Hell yeah. You guys remember doing the dissections in high school? The formaldehyde, how that shit smelled? You want that in your body? No. No. Latent tuberculosis is treatable now, but requires a long regimen of course of antibiotics, months instead of weeks. Damn, that's gonna fuck up your gut too, bro. Because antibiotics, they basically, because they kill the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. So all your gut microbiome would literally get destroyed. But if it could cure you, it would be fucking worth it. You know what I mean? It would take you a little bit to get your gut biome back to where it needs to be. But Because that's why they say, you know, you don't want to take antibiotics unless you absolutely have to, because they're hard. They're really hard on your body, you know. But shit, man, if that's going to help you, I would do it, you know. What happened to that rat thing that was going on? I don't know. What rat thing, bro? I haven't heard about that. I had to write a big ass document for reasonable accommodation because my job required it at the time, and I was granted accommodation. That's good. That's good. And then again, too, like you said, like you have to write a document to prove, or to basically persuade them to where you don't have to get vaccinated. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. As an American, we have rights and we have freedom. And if you don't want to do something, you shouldn't have to explain yourself. You shouldn't have to do a goddamn thing, bro, because this is America. But, dude, America is changing, bro. You know, they got the flock cameras now. I'm sure you guys have heard about that flock camera shit. I mean, that's a surveillance state, bro. If you guys have ever read 1984 by George Orwell, it talks about in the future, and they have a surveillance state, and everybody snitches on each other and shit, and it becomes hell. And that's what, bro, I'm telling you, man, I think America is, bro, we're getting close, man. We're getting so close to losing our freedoms, bro. Because we do not have as much freedom as we used to have. You know, that's a fact. That is a fucking fact, that people do not have as much freedom as they used to have. And with the flock cameras and shit, and then with the police and everything, the government, you know, you say the wrong things. If I said the wrong thing on the internet, I can get canceled. Even though we have freedom of speech and you can say anything that you want, if you say the incorrect thing, you can get canceled, and it can keep you from getting a job. It can keep you from getting paid. If you're an influencer or something, you know, you'll get demonetized. You can't get a job because you said the wrong thing. I thought we had freedom of speech, dude. I thought you could say whatever you want. No, that's hate speech. You're like, okay, but aren't we allowed to do that? Like, I'm not agreeing with hate speech, but technically you should be allowed to say that stuff. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong, because you should be able to say whatever the fuck you want, you know? But America, man, I love America. Don't get me wrong. But there's some things, bro, where it's just crazy. Crazy as fuck. Okay, I'm pretty behind. Let me catch up here. Sorry, guys. I have private doctors because of my conditions, and they all said, stay away from the vaccine. It could kill me. And they don't even know what's in it. Yeah. That's some good damage. It sounds like some good doctors that you had, man. You know, Arthur Morgan had TB. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Yeah, he went to go collect that money from that guy, and he coughed in his face. Yep. R.I.P. Arthur Morgan, man. Beyond said, yeah, next time I have a doctor visit, I'll ask. Because, dude, I'm telling you this too, man. If maybe you ask your doctor and maybe they don't give you the answer you want, go talk to another doctor. Because doctors are in the business of making money. And beyond, if you're sick for the rest of your life, that's a guaranteed paycheck for that doctor. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to cure you because you're coming in and you're paying them, bro. A doctor that cures people, bro, is going to go out of business. You know, it's a business. They like to say they're here to help people and stuff, and they do. They absolutely do. But there's also money involved. And anytime money gets involved, things get corrupt, and they don't want you to not be a paying customer. You know, you could go to two different doctors. One doctor will say, hey, you need shoulder surgery. The other one will say, hey, you need physical therapy. Because the one doctor that says you need surgery, that's money for him. The other one that says physical therapy, he wants to help you, you know. So yeah, if you go to the doctor and they tell you, oh no, maybe not, fucking go ask another doctor. Because not one doctor knows everything, you know. What should I be rigging for bass? Man, just a good old worm, bro. Just a good old clowning. What's up, bro? Just a good old worm, man. That works. Raising Hell said, I'm gonna head to bed. When will you be live again? I don't know, bro. I mean, I'd like to say tomorrow. I can't promise that, but maybe tomorrow night, you know. Freaking if you want to come by and say what's up, man, I'd appreciate it. You know, and all these guys in here, you know, we all like I'm sure they welcome you in with open arms and shit, man. So feel free to stop in whenever. I just spit. That's what this country needs to bring people together. Facts, man. Big facts. I wish it could be like that, man. Honestly. It's sad that it's not that way. You know, I don't know where this great divide came from, but I guess it's always been like that with people. People don't agree. It's just human nature, I guess. You know, people we've been fighting and going to wars and stuff since the beginning of time. So I guess it's normal. But you'd think with how much things have progressed and how intelligent, you know, people are, you'd think people could come together, but here's the thing is that a lot of people are not intelligent, you know. I did some research on that, and they said that a lot of most people have about the same IQ. You know, there's not a lot of people that actually have low IQs, but it's that they lack critical thinking skills. So everybody can have the same IQ, but if you're not a critical thinker, you're just not going to understand things the same way. You know, like if you guys have ever heard of metacognition, so metacognition is basically being able to understand your thoughts and understand that you're thinking and objectively look at your thoughts. And bro, a large portion of people do not have metacognition. They can't understand their thoughts. They can't actually think that they're thinking. Does that make sense? And then I've heard too that like up to 50% of people don't have an internal monologue. So motherfuckers are just walking around with just nothing going on in their brains. Like we all might be about the same IQ, but there's people that don't think. Like as they're driving down the road, there's nothing in their brain. They're just driving. Like crazy to me, bro. I thought that everybody had an internal monologue, you know, but a lot of people don't. And that makes perfect sense, man, because people do stuff and you're like, did you think about this? And they're like, no, because they don't, because they can't, you know. Since it's a longer course, it might be piracy. It should be able to help you out in the right path for you. Shoot, what are we talking about here? There's no money in a cure. Otherworldly Kitty here. Otherworldly Kitty, nice name. There's no money in a cure. Instead, they send you with They send you with dog shit pills because profit. That's facts. That's facts. That's a fact, man. Same thing with dentistry. If you guys look into the dentistry conspiracy, they make you get dental work that you don't need all the time, bro. I had an experience with that. I went to a different dentist, and they told me I had a couple cavities and they need to get extracted immediately. And I was like, what? I was like, bro, I just went to the dentist 6 months ago and they said my teeth were perfectly fine. So instead of just trusting this doctor, I said, you know what? I'm going to go to my old dentist. I'm going to get the x-rays sent over and I'm going to get this double checked because this just doesn't sound right to me. And he was pressuring me. The new dentist I went to was pressuring me. He's like, we have to do this today. And he's like, and it's going to be $1,500. And I was like, what? I was like, bro, hold up. Hold the fuck up, bro. Like, if you have a cavity, it doesn't need to be taken out today. I'm like, it needs to be taken out soon, but not this exact fucking moment. So again, he was fear-mongering me, bro. He was trying to get me scared to spend money. It was an Indian guy. Doesn't matter, but I'm just saying. And I went back to my normal dentist, and we went over the x-rays. He took new x-rays, looked at my teeth, and was like, dude, there's nothing wrong with your teeth. He's like, you have 0 cavities. And I was like, I was like, dude, I fucking knew it. And I was like, how much do I owe you for today? And he's like, you don't owe me anything. He's like, he didn't charge me a dime to get x-rays, to look over my other x-rays and to check my teeth. He didn't charge me anything. And I apologized to him. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I was like, I will never go to another dentist again. I was like, I got a coupon in the mail for a cleaning and it was really cheap. That's exactly why. It was a cheap cleaning. And then they tell you need extra dental work so they can make their money back. And I was like, I'll never go to another dentist again. I was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, bro, he's like, you're good. He didn't say bro, but I think there will be a mass rebellion in the next 5 to 10 years. Flock sucks ass. The government in both sides sucks ass. Greedy tech dorks suck. It's not looking good right now. Dude, they say about like left wing and right wing, same bird. Have you guys ever heard that before? Left wing, right wing, same bird. I mean, dude, honestly, I can't see a big rebellion coming because I think they've made Americans especially so docile. I think Americans are too afraid and too soft to stand up for themselves, bro. It's over 50% of the American population is obese. So if you had a major rebellion, over 50% of the people, they can't really participate in combat because they're overweight, dude. And if you're in combat, you might have to run 10 motherfucking miles. And how many Americans can actually fucking do that, bro? Like it's a small percentage of people that are actually in good enough shape to fight back. And like I said, I think they've made people too docile. I think too many people are agreeable to where a rebellion, that's exactly what they plan on. They make Americans fat and dumb and don't think for themselves to keep them from rebelling. Because they know they're doing a bunch of fucked up stuff, man. So they're like, how can we make them stupid? How can we make them fat so that they can't fight back? And I think they've achieved it. I really do. I don't think mixed. I mean, I'd like to think that there could potentially be a rebellion to overthrow the government. I don't think it's going to happen, dude. I really don't. I think the government's too powerful, and I think Americans are too weak, man. I used to say that, it was possible and we should stand up and defend ourselves, but man, I'm telling you, bro, I just don't think Americans could pull it off, dude. I hate to say that, man, but that's my opinion, man. Couldn't switch jobs because of how long I've been there and how much I make is more than minimum wage, so the reasonable accommodation was necessary. I couldn't afford a pay cut in this wild economy. Hey man, there's always another job out there that will pay you. If you have the mindset that this is the only job that I can have that is going to pay me, then you're right. Because you're limiting yourself. You have to believe that there is something greater out there. There is another job that is going to pay. Because I'm telling you, I understand, otherworldly kitty. I understand what you're saying, but that is a trap mindset. You're trapping yourself by saying there's no other job I could get. There's absolutely another job you can get. You have to believe, you have to know that you're putting yourself in a box by saying that, oh, I can't switch jobs, man, because of the blah blah blah. Like you gotta fucking have some confidence, man, and some faith that there is another job out there, because there's millions of jobs, probably billions of jobs, bro. And to think that this is the only one you could get that's going to pay this much money, sorry, but you're wrong, man. There's always another job that's going to pay you what you're making, if not more. That's just the truth, dude. You can't put yourself in a box. You gotta believe in yourself, man. You gotta believe in what your capabilities are, Sheriff here in southern Idaho is already stalking us using Flock. Yeah, that's fucked. Am I far behind? I'm super far behind. Okay. Let me catch up here. I sued the county and electric company for them putting a flock camera on the pole on my private property of mine without mentioning that that's what they were doing, and won the case. Well, that's good, man. Fuck yeah, get them fucking flock cameras out of here, bro. Excuse me. Dude, I went to a spine doctor because I had a bulging disc, and he tried to talk me into operating on me. Insanity. Dude, and once you have back surgery, your back is never the same. Never the fucking same. So if you can do the rehab stuff and basically prolong that surgery, that's the best thing to do. Like, you want to be conservative with surgery. You don't want to just get surgeries, bro, because surgery is super hard on your body, and your body never fucking fully recovers, dude, because they're in there cutting everything up, man. They cut up your fascia. If you guys know what your fascia is, it's like a kind of like an internal skin that attaches your muscle to the skin and stuff. Without fascia, your muscles won't work, And when they go in and do surgery, they slice right through that fascia, and it doesn't recover like your muscles and stuff do, Jerome County Sheriff George Opdyke to stalk his wife, stepped down, retired, and got a slap on the hands. Yeah, fucking motherfucker, bro. Doctors are corrupted by Big Pharma. It's true. It's a trap to keep you going back while they collect their kickbacks. Facts. And it's sad that people you love the most one day be nothing but an autobiography story. Well, I mean, dude, it's not... It is sad. You're going to miss them, but it's not necessarily sad because that's the cycle of life, dude. That's the only thing that everybody has in common is that we're all going to pass away one day. You know? It's not a sad thing, man. I mean, dying is just a part of life as being born is. You know what I mean? I get it. You know, you have emotions, you miss them and stuff. But to say that it's sad that somebody passed away, I mean, it's a celebration, bro. You celebrate somebody's life when they pass away, just like you celebrate a life when somebody's born. Being born and dying are the only two sure things in life. It's just something that everybody has in common. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, bro. Like, when I die, I hope people aren't sad. Like, I lived a good life, man. I lived a good life, and I'm going to a better place, you know? I hope people miss me and stuff, but I don't want people to be sad because I'm gone. You know, shit, man. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I know you guys are saying cool stuff in here. I wish I could read every single one of these and respond to you guys. Okay. Caden. What up, Caden? What's up, bro? I haven't seen you for a while. I'm trapped. It's been a recurring thing. 10 years at one shit job and 7 years at my current. Bro, you're not trapped, man. You're only trapped if you believe you're trapped, dude. It is a mindset thing, dude. And I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm definitely not telling you that. I will tell you it's hard, you know, but you're not trapped. You know, you're not trapped unless you believe that you're trapped, dude. You're not in jail. And if you're not in jail, you have the freedom to do things. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody holding you at gunpoint telling you, hey, you have to work here or else you're going to die. Like, dude, you can always take a leap of faith, man. You can always try something new, bro. I'm telling you. You can't let that be your reality. If your reality is, okay, I'm trapped, then you're right. You know, you have to push against that. It's resistance, you know, and resistance hurts. It's hard. It's hard to push. It's heavy, but you got to change that mindset, man. You got to push. You got to push through it. I'm not telling you it's not heavy and it's not hard, because it is, you know, but the more you push, the stronger you get, dude. Okay. Let's not forget the other side of it. Rebellions, whether it's France, the rise of Cornwall, or the Brazilian military regime, hardly goes as planned. Well, dude, and I've heard this too about civil wars. They say that, oh, civil wars are the people, but it's actually not the people that start civil wars. It's actually people in power that persuade people to go and fight. So any civil war is not just the people get together and they're like, yeah, we're going to fight them. It's somebody in power that has a say and has connections that actually come up with the idea and get people to rally behind them. So unless we had somebody here that was really going to rally the people and had connections with the military and stuff, because Americans can't fight the military with what we have. AR-15s. Motherfucker, the military has nukes. They have helicopters. They have tanks. We can't fight those motherfuckers unless we have half of them on our side. If we had half the military on our side with drones and missiles and helicopters and tanks and soldiers, sure, then maybe we have a fighting chance. But the American citizens against the United States military, no. There's no way. They have thermal optics and shit, man. You'd be sitting in the woods and they'd fly over you with a helicopter and they're like, hey, there's 20 guys right there. Drop a bomb. Drop a missile on them. Bam. Like, that's exactly how it would go. Literally. That's exactly what would happen. Because I've talked to plenty of guys about that. Like, I remember at my old job talking to some, like, corn-fed country boys. And they're like, I would fight. I'd fucking blah, blah, blah. I'm like... And one of the dudes was hella overweight. I mean, he was 260 plus. And I'm like, you're going to sit in a fucking hole for days with no food Your buddies around you are going to get killed. And I'm like, and you're going to stand up and you're going to run. And you're going to run more than 100 yards. I'm like, be real, dude. For real. You're going to shit in a hole for weeks on end. Not know where you're going to get food from. You're going to fight these guys. No, you're not. You're not going to do that. I don't know if any of you guys have ever slept in the woods for a weekend. It's rough. And now you're talking about months being outside in the weather, fighting, your buddies around you dying. You got to get up and run. You didn't eat no food. How many Americans are going to do that? It's a very small percentage. You know, there's guys out there that absolutely can. There's veterans that could do it. There's country guys. There's plenty of people, but a small percentage of what the actual population is. You know what I mean? Okay. Let me catch up. Do you believe in life after love? I do. That's a good song too. Okay, I made it to the bottom of the chat here. You have absolutely no idea what the U.S. government is capable of. They don't need helicopters or bodies. Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, they have drones. They have unmanned vehicles and stuff like that. They absolutely, yeah. Nobody knows what the U.S. military is capable of, man. They have the black budget. Have you guys ever heard of that? The black budget? It's a bunch of millions and millions and millions of dollars that go into the military budget, and we don't get to see what it is. It's secret. So who knows what they have, dude? They could have fucking nuclear weapons that blow up the whole moon or something, bro. Or an entire country. They could blow up Russia with one bomb. Maybe. You know, who knows what they have, dude? They might have re-engineered UFOs and learned space travel and shit. I don't know. That's a conspiracy, but I'm just saying, man, the military is crazy powerful. The United States military is fucking insane. Shit, we're Italians. Funerals are like weddings. It's just one big ass party. Dude, damage, that's how it is on my dad's side of the family. When there's a funeral, it's a celebration because you're celebrating their life. On my mom's side of the family, when there's a funeral, oh my God, it's a disaster. Everybody's crying. Everybody's fucked up. Like, when my great-grandma passed away, dude, she was 87. She was 87 years old. She was my great-grandma. And people were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I'm like, she was 87. I'm like, you guys didn't think she was going to pass away? I'm like, why are you guys surprised that Gigi Mom passed away? Like, I was sad. I cried. You know, don't get me wrong, man. I miss her to this day. But to be all upset and crying and not celebrating her life, she produced all this whole big ass family and all these grandkids and great grandkids. And everybody's like, I can't believe she's gone. I'm like, you can't believe an 87-year-old woman passed away? I'm like, come on, be real. Like, my dad's side of the family, like, they think it's ridiculous. They're like, come on, dude. Like, let's have a good time. Let's celebrate her life. Let's all bring the mood up a little bit. But on my mom's side of the family, oh my God, everybody's in distress. Like, oh my God, she was 87, guys. Like, I miss her. Like I said, I miss her, and I was sad and shit like that. But to think, I can't believe it. Like, you can't believe it? Come on, grow up a little bit. Like, you can fight. The issue is the aftermath and lack of stability. That's true. It takes very specific people to rebuild something better. Oftentimes, they become the new power struggling to maintain control. Yeah, that's absolutely right, man. Yeah, maybe we could overthrow the government, and then, bro, in 20, 30, 50 years, bro, we'd be in the exact same places when we started, you know? If you guys have ever read the book Animal Farm, it's a bunch of farm animals that overthrow the farmer because they say he's not feeding them enough, he's working them too hard, blah, 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 blah. So they kick the farmer out of the farm, and then the animals control the farm now. And then the animals become just as corrupt as the farmer did. Like, it's like human nature, bro. That book, Animal Farm, it's a pretty old book. But yeah, it's essentially just a human nature book. Like, they say, oh, we're going to overthrow them, and we're going to make a place better. And then the animals become exactly the same thing that they overthrew. So, I don't know. I don't know. What's the alternative, man? Overthrow the government every 20 years? Probably. That would probably be the best thing to do, but like what Wolf said, it takes a very specific person or people to rebuild after that. You know, like if we overthrew the government, where do we start? Where the fuck do you start? How do you start rebuilding shit, man? Like people need food, people need structures, people need housing, people need schools. What's going to happen to all that stuff, you know? Yeah, it's almost too much. It's almost too much to talk about, man. Because you could talk about it all day, bro. You can talk about it all day and night, man. Where does it get you? You know, it's good. It's good to conversate, but sometimes, man, sometimes it does feel a little bit pointless. You know, like, that's kind of a cynical way to look at it, but fuck, man, I don't fucking know, bro. I saw you guys talking about New Orleans being haunted. I have heard that. I heard there's like witches and black magic and stuff like that down there. I can see it. I believe that stuff. Voodoo magic and shit. Wolf said Brazilian military soon became the oppressors and not the liberators they were at first. Yeah. See, exactly, bro. Like, exactly, man. That's just what happens, dude. When the status quo takes a hit, the things are chaotic, and new ones in power tend to use force and fear. Yeah, absolutely, man. Dude, my boy Wolf, bro. Wolf is so smart, bro. He's always got some cool ass shit to say, man. Like, he's in the know, man. Wolf is in the know, bro. All you guys. I mean, literally all you guys, bro. Like, because I'm lucky enough to, I don't know if it's the topics I talk about or what, but to attract, this kind of audience or whatever. So I feel like with all you guys in here, like, we're pretty much on the same page. You know what I mean? Flock is shock culture. They've surveyed every inch of the earth since 2009. Real-time feed makes the justice system look like BS. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about like Google Earth and stuff. Like, they have the power to basically see you anytime, anywhere. And in the future, bro, it's just going to get... Oh, the Whirly Kitty said I subbed. I appreciate the sub. I appreciate that. Dude, I just wonder, bro, I mean, I'm curious to see, because I do like the progression of humanity and stuff. I like to see what happens. But man, in the next 20, 30 years, bro, we're going to be living in a completely different fucking world, man. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. I don't even know what's going to happen. AI, flock cameras, surveillance, war, weapons, political unrest, oh man, it'll be wild. Or the world is wild. We live in a crazy ass place, dude. Ever since the beginning of time, people back in the day used to cut people's heads off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it still happens. It still happens to this day. Like, to think that we're not, like people say here in America, especially, because I hate to even use this word, but like privilege, like so many Americans are so privileged because this is a great country. I mean, I would say, America is still one of, if not the best country in the world. That's true. But we have a lot of privilege here. When you go to other countries, third world countries and stuff, motherfuckers don't have shoes. People don't have cars. People don't have clean water. And then people in America will say stuff like, I don't know. I kind of forgot where I was going with that. Fuck, what was I just gonna say, bro? Damn it. I don't know. But, I mean, I guess just going off, I can spin it here, but like the privilege thing, like people don't know how good we got it here in America. That's true. That's true, But, okay, this is what I was saying. Was that, okay, here we go. So like hella people in America, they say that, we've advanced in civilization. Oh, there shouldn't be this and there shouldn't be crime. There shouldn't be this. Like, dude, we are animals. We are animals. And it wasn't that long ago. The last guillotine in France, I think was like, I think it might have been in the 1900s. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either the 1800s or the 1900s. Or no, it was. The last beheading in France was in the 1900s. Like 100 years ago, somebody got executed in public and they cut their head off. And then to say that nowadays, like, oh no, we're beyond all that. Like, no, we're not, dude. Like, the world is an evil, ugly place, bro. And it always will be. It always will be. That's just human nature. It's just what we are, dude. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is, man. There's terrorist groups, there's criminals, there's rapists, murderers. You're not gonna, that's not gonna go away. Just because we live in America and things shouldn't be like that. Okay, they are. They are like that, which is pretty morbid. And like I said, cynical too. That's a cynical way to look at it. But man, I'm an optimist. I like to be optimistic and stuff like that. But I also live in reality. And to ignore reality because you're so optimistic is foolish. That makes you a fool. You have to know what's going on and you have to understand human psychology and human nature, man. It's what we are, man. Like, not we per se, but I've told you guys about this before. Like, you're only as moral as your temptations. People would say, oh, if I was in a position of power, I would never do that. Sure. Have you ever been in that position before? Well, no. Then how do you know what you would do? You can say that, oh, I would never do that evil stuff and I wouldn't take, lobbyist money and people couldn't bribe me. Yeah, how about they give you $50 million? And how about it changes you, dude? It literally changes you, man. There's so many people that say, I would never, like I don't know, this might be a hot take. I'll use Donald Trump as an example. People say, oh, Donald Trump, he's so evil. He's so blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, put yourself in his shoes, man. What would you be like? People don't have that. They don't have empathy, How about you've been a billionaire for years and years and years and run companies and done that? I'm like, you would be a different person. Maybe you'd be a good person. Maybe you wouldn't be. You know what I mean? But it's easy to point a finger at somebody and say, oh, I would never do that. Okay, sure. You've never been in that position before. You've never been tempted like that. You've never had all that money thrown in your face. You've never had, oh, I'd stay faithful in my marriage. Have you ever had the hottest chicks you've ever seen in your life throw in their pussy in your lap and you're going to say no to every single one of them? Sure, maybe, dude. But I'd like to see that. I'd like to see you say, oh, I would never, the hottest girl I've ever seen in my entire life who wants to have sex with me and nobody would ever know about it. No, I would say no. Sure, bud. Sure you would, Okay. Otherworldly Kitty said, you're a cool guy. This is refreshing. Doom scrolling through so much useless dribble. I feel that, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that compliment, man. This other guy said 20 to 30 years. He said try to 2 to 3 years. I don't know. I don't know. I hope not. I think things will just, as long as you go to work, you do what you're supposed to do, you stay out of trouble, I think your life will be pretty good. Even the stuff we're talking about right now, some of this stuff, bro, honestly doesn't even, like, a lot of this stuff doesn't even affect me, man. I live in a nice town. I have good friends and family. I have a good community around me. I don't break the law. A lot of these things just don't affect me. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to have an opinion about it and to get riled up about it and stuff and say, this is fucking wrong. But, bro, I don't live on the news. I don't live on my phone. I don't live on the internet and stuff. I live in the real world. And, my reality is pretty good. And I think for a lot of you guys in here too, bro, like, it's easy to get wrapped up into shit and get angry and get feisty and stand up and have opinions. But, like, bro, a lot of that stuff just really, it doesn't have any effect on my life, man. Some of the stuff absolutely does. Like we talked earlier about the vaccines. That's something that directly impacted me, But do I really give a fuck? No, I don't. Like, I didn't get vaccinated because I didn't think I should have. And all these other people saying this and this and this. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. I'm here to pay my bills, live my life, be happy, have faith in God, exercise, do my YouTube, work on my business. All this other stuff I don't give a fuck about, man. I used to get more wrapped up into it when I was a little bit younger, and I think that's a part of getting older is you don't care as much the older you get. Damage. I'm sure you can add into this. The older you get, the less you give a fuck. It's man. What are you gonna do? What the fuck are you gonna do? Worry about yourself, man. Beyond the Bayou said you're forming your own little community here, Jed. I know. It's kind of cool, man. It is kind of cool. It's taken some time, but I like it, man. I like hanging out with you guys. I like doing this. So I'm glad, man. I hope it works out, David said, "You're so cute. Think we got another 20 years on this planet. I give it another 5 to 10 years, and we'd be going to war against our own." I fucking hope not, man. I hope that's not the case. But I wouldn't, I don't know. I don't know. History repeats itself. That's a fact. I've heard this that history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. So it's not the same exact thing, but it rhymes. It's something similar, and nothing new underneath the sun. If you guys have ever heard that before, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything has already happened before. There's already been famine. There's already been political uprisings. There's already been disease. There's already been everything. It's already happened, bro. And it's going to happen again. All these politicians and millionaires don't care about the working class. That's true. That is definitely true, man. They're definitely out of touch with reality, bro. I deactivated my Facebook so I could get away from the mind poison. Yeah, bro, Facebook is bad. Dude, Facebook is like, I think that's where like all the racist people are, is on Facebook. Because like, bro, some of the shit I see on Facebook, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, Facebook is bad. It's whether you're left wing, right wing, whatever you believe in, Facebook has got some bad shit. All of them. Twitter's bad, Instagram is bad. But I've noticed that there's a lot of racist people on Facebook. And they're on every app. You get on Instagram, man, you'll see, bro, just like a video of some black dudes, man, and you read the comments and you're like, holy fuck, dude. Like, people are straight up just racist, man. Like, oh, it's actually insane, dude. Otherworldly, same here, Jed too. He only uses Marketplace for his business. Yeah. I don't use Facebook to get on there and just like scroll through. Like, I use Facebook Marketplace. I don't have any friends on Facebook. I don't follow anybody. I don't have a profile picture. Nothing. It's because I've never had a Twitter before. I don't have a Snapchat anymore. I still have my Instagram, but I don't use it on my phone. I don't keep it downloaded and shit. Because I think it's bad. I love YouTube though. I do love YouTube. I think YouTube is by far the best out of all of them. If you're going to be on any sort of social media platform, motherfucking YouTube, bro. YouTube is where the real information is. I think the coolest people, in my opinion, are on YouTube, But I'm biased, Patience is a virtue and a lesson, Jed. For sure, man. For sure. You were raised well, Jed? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't raised perfect, dude. Trust me, I was not raised perfect. I mean, I had some good influences and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's raised perfectly. But, I mean, yeah, I think so, bro. In the overall scheme of things, I'd agree with you. And then I've also, come up with my own thing too. Because there's plenty of things me and my family don't agree on, or just don't see eye to eye with. Because, man, I've educated myself. I've read books. I've watched videos. I've went to lectures. I've talked to people. I've been out in the world, man. And I can see things that my family taught me that weren't necessarily true. Once I get out in the real world, I'm like, you guys were wrong about this. But they still don't see it like that all the time, My dad just died. I'm sorry to hear that, man. BMX. Sorry to hear that, bro. That sucks, dude. Your father passing away is probably one of the worst experiences you can go through, man. I've been watching your content. It helped me not get in a hard place, and you're funny and helpful. Thank you for everything you've done, dude. I appreciate that, man. That's probably the coolest. That's probably the coolest comment I've ever gotten, dude. That is awesome, man. That's part of the reason I do this YouTube thing, man. If I can uplift people, help people, push them in the right direction, whatever it is, man. Like you said, just watching and laughing a little bit. Like, dude, that's awesome, man. It's exactly why I do this, man. So, I'll pray for you, man, and I hope things get better for you. Shoot, dude. Sorry to hear that. VR chat is super racist, and the most insane thing is kids and teenagers being racist. I know, because you learn it. You learn racism through other people, and you can learn it through your own experiences and stuff. That's absolutely true. You learn biases and stuff like that from pattern recognition, man. You go through experiences, and you're like, okay, well, I learned my lesson in this kind of environment around these kind of people. Like, this is a bad environment. These are not the kind of people I want to be around. But I think, like, excuse me, like a lot of the racism people learn is just from other people. It's what they hear, and they copy other people. Maybe it's from your family, maybe it's from your friends, from VR, something like that. So now they get it in their head that this is the right thing to do or the right thing to say because other people are doing it. And again, that's when it comes to being a free thinker. Think for yourself, dude. Yeah, don't fucking. I know Roblox is fucking terrible, bro. Roblox is like the Predator game. There's like hella fucking child predators and stuff on Roblox, and it's still a game. People can still play. Shut that motherfucker down. Blows my mind. It's almost like they want that stuff, Flock will be just another talking point for a while. They'll be up each new election cycle, and it'll be campaigns like abortion, immigration, and other talking points without true long-time solution. Yep, Wolf, you're spitting facts. Yeah, eventually it'll blow over, bro, and they'll move on. The Epstein files, people moved on. This vaccine thing, it's going to go by. The Flock thing is going to pass. Like, it always does, dude. It's a hot topic for a while. They don't change anything, and we just learn to live with it. It's fucking crazy. I can't sleep. I'm back. Well, hey, welcome back. Raising hell. Glad you're back, man. Stay strong, BMX. Facts, man. And BMX, if you want to hop in here anytime, dude, you're more than welcome. You have an open mind, Jed. I mean, I try, man. I'm sure I'm closed-minded about certain things. I definitely am. Everybody is with some things. But I like to look at things objectively and logically and not emotionally. I'm a human. I get emotional sometimes. Everybody does. But, just being able to think for yourself, bro, and have an open mind, it can get you really far and get you a really deep understanding of things, man. People, they live too much on the surface. Sometimes you got to dive deep, man. And you got to get uncomfortable. Being open-minded is about, you got to be uncomfortable, And I don't know necessarily where I got that from. I'm sure it's a mix of family values, sports, experiences, everything all mixed into one, Thanks for going live. I would have never found you if I wasn't doom scrolling. Well, hey, man. Sometimes doom scrolling gets you in the right place, I never let my son play that. He just likes Minecraft. Yeah, I think that's, yeah. Dude, when I was growing up, I never had Xbox Live or nothing because it was bad. Like, bro, when I was younger, like you guys have heard on the internet, the Modern Warfare lobbies back in the day. And it was like people cussing, people being racist, people saying death threats, people looking up IP addresses and stuff. Like, I wasn't allowed to play Grand Theft Auto when I was a kid. And I didn't have Xbox Live because it was fucking bad. Like, my mom's like, you're not playing GTA and running around and killing people. She's like, you're not going to play that game. Fair. I think that's fair to tell a child that they're not allowed to play that. I think that's smart to not let a kid play a game like that. Yeah, Minecraft I think that's a good game for kids. Mario, Minecraft, Mario Kart, fucking Smash Bros. I don't know, like games like that, man. Like Modern Warfare, even dude, I love Call of Duty. I got my first Call of Duty game when I was in, I don't know, second grade or something like that. Call of Duty World at War. I mean, it was badass. Trust me, I love that fucking game, bro. That shit was sick. But for a 7-year-old kid to be playing video games and, in World at War, you can shoot people's heads off and blow people's arms off and stuff. Like, I don't think that's not necessarily normal for a kid to be playing a game like that, I missed that. I thought you said I'm black. I thought you said I'm black, not back. Oh. Couldn't sleep, so I'm black. Happens to me all the time, bro. What kind of guns you got on the wall? I got this is an AK-47 Klitschnikov USA. So Klitschnikov was the original producer of the AK-47. That's the guy's last name. So this is a Klitschnikov USA AK-47 on the bottom. And then I got a Mossberg, I don't know, 590 maybe is what it is. Semi-auto shotgun right there, 22-inch barrel. And then on the top is a 12 gauge break barrel, and it's from the 1920s. So it was my great grandfather's gun on the top. So it's like a 100-year-old shotgun. I had an NES in the 80s and the early 90s, and we had late 90s. I was playing Doom 1. Bro, we used to have, whatever system had Mike Tyson's Punch Out, if you guys remember that game. Oh, we had that. We had that when I was a kid. I went through several generations of tech despite being millennial in the USA and Brazil. Especially being poor, we didn't get access to the newest tech, so I can't relate to boomers, Gen X. I hear you, man. But our boy Wolf, he lives in the US now. So that motherfucker, you can get a PlayStation, bro. Cool, my dream gun is a Winchester Model 97. Yeah, that's cool, man. Maybe one of these days we'll get one, bro. Aren't we glad YouTube recommended Jed in our algorithm? Well, dude, I appreciate that, man. I don't know how it happens. I don't know how the algorithm works and stuff like that, but shoot, man, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you guys are here. I always have like I said, I always have a good time hanging out with you, talking, yapping, just whatever. We talk about life. That's pretty much all we talk about on these lives is life. I feel like I should have been Gen X because I'm 1983. I hang out with all Gen X crowd, so I don't like to admit I'm a millennial. I hear you, man. I'm right on the cusp. I was born in 99. So I think I'm technically I think I'm Gen Z, technically. But I don't know that I necessarily resonate with that crowd. What's up, loco? ¿Qué pasa, amigo? ¿Todo bien, wey? I hate not watching the stream live. I'm at work, lunchtime. Taco Tuesday, wey. Sí, amigo. Necesito tacos mucho. Grande polla y fucking picante, man. Pinche picante. Let's bring back the Game Boys and the Nintendo DS. I had a DS Color, I think, or a Game Boy Color is what I had. I have an Xbox Series S. Wish I could play against you in Battlefront 2. Bro, that would be sick. That would be fucking sick. I think, dude, there might be a way to do that. On like Heroes and Villains. You ever play that on Battlefront 2? Bro, I fucking love that game. Hey, Jed, will you feel weird if one of us came up to you in real life? No. Hell no. No, I wouldn't feel weird, man. I'd be fucking happy to see you guys. Fucking be on the bayou. What's up, bro? Dude, that would be cool, man. I've thought about that. I've thought about that before. If I ever ran into one of you guys or something, how I'd react, No, I think it'd be fucking cool, man. No, your mindset is millennial. I know. I think Well, I grew up with older brothers and stuff like that, so I think that kind of rubbed off on me. Because, like, you know, when I went to school and stuff, like, I hung out with an older crowd when I was in school, and whenever I get along with older people pretty regularly. I enjoy hanging out with older people and stuff, man. So, because, bro, younger people are kind of stupid. Not always, but yeah, Jed thinks more like a millennial. Yeah. Yeah, definitely not like, bro. Definitely not Gen Z. I'm not on, bro. I don't do the TikTok. I don't do all the social media crap. I don't do the fucking, I don't know, whatever Gen Z be doing, bro. Sometimes they be stupid. The DoorDash, I don't DoorDash nothing because it's a fucking waste of money. I have a car and I can drive. And I also like to cook. Bro, there's so many people my age that just can't cook. I'm like, how? How is that even possible? You don't know how to, feeding yourself is a basic human necessity. I mean, you don't know how to cook anything? Blows my mind. Blows my fucking mind. Roberto said LOL. Do you watch NASCAR? No, I'm not a NASCAR guy. I can't watch that left turn. I can't. I think I like some of like the muscle cars and they do like the drag races and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Raising Hell said I'm born in 2010. Ah, sorry, bro. Sorry, man. But hey, man, as long as you're different, bro, that's all that matters. Just don't follow the crowd, man. That's like the millennials speaking through me right now. Don't follow the crowd. Be yourself. Walk to the beat of your own drum. Because Gen Z is too much trying to follow the crowd and trying to be like everybody else. Like, be your own person, man. Think for yourself. Do you use Gen Z slang, Jed? I'm sure I do. I'm sure. There's probably some things. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, man, but I'm sure I do, bro. My nieces and nephews in Brazil, especially since they don't have access to what kids their ages have here, are very intelligent. Yeah, facts. I know, you just run around and be a kid, man. You learn a lot more that way than being on the internet all the time or playing video games all the time. Oh, really? They said don't fit in. Yeah, I mean, dude, when the crowd is doing one thing, fucking do the other, man. AK Gamer said born in 2012, but not like the kids in my generation. I've been grinding and self-improving and saving money and started driving. Hell yeah, man. Dude, stick with that shit, man. Stick with it, bro. Keep improving, keep growing, keep saving money, keep getting better, man. This is one thing I've learned at 27 because I can already start to see it. And I've heard that this is when people get older, they stop learning and they stop changing, And I can see it at 27 years old. I meet people that after they've got out of college or high school, they're not educating themselves more. They already think that they've done enough. And they basically stay the same for their whole lives. Their mindsets, their beliefs, their knowledge, their education stays the same as when they got out of high school or college, and they never grow, which is, like I said, at 27, I can see that. I can see people that went to college and they were smarter back then, and now they're getting stupider because I'm getting smarter and they're not progressing. They're at the same level and I'm moving forward. To me, they seem dumb, man. Some of the people I used to hang around and stuff, I'm like, you guys haven't learned anything. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, yeah, it's crazy. I have an ATF agent locked in my basement. Crazy. Don't follow trends, be yourself. No cap. Yep. That's a fact, man. I'm one of the only country kids in my school, which is why I'm happy I'm different. It's good, man. That's good, bro. Like I said, you don't want to be... It doesn't matter what generation you're in. You don't want to be like everybody else. You want to be your own person, in my opinion, Delete your socials. It can be toxic to the young mind. It literally alters your mind. That's why so many young folks are so focused on their looks. True. When you go through, your doom scrolling or whatever, even if you're not intentionally trying to get the information, your subconscious is picking up on it. You know what I mean? It changes your subconscious mind. Absolutely, bro. It's just like a diet. You got to focus on what you let in. Are you letting in good food or bad food? Your brain is the same way. What kind of knowledge are you intaking? Are you eating? Are you taking in good knowledge or are you taking in bad knowledge? Even if you say, oh, I don't pay attention to that stuff, it's still hitting your subconscious. Your subconscious can't not pick up on things. It's your subconscious. You're not in control. You know what I mean? So it picks up on things whether you like it to or not. That's just the truth. Everybody trying to stand out at the same time, same way, they end up all the same. Facts, bro. Yes, many people are operating on what they learned in their first couple of decades. I know, dude. It's like I said, I'm only 27, but I can already see it happening. Like people that, like I said, I considered smart, if you want to call it that. When we were in high school or college, they're still the same. They haven't learned or progressed or changed or nothing. I'm like, and they're going to be like that forever. Not everybody. I mean, some people, there's a light switch that can go off in your head and you're like, holy shit, I need to start educating myself. I got to exercise my brain. But bro, a lot of people don't even exercise their bodies. So they're not going to exercise their brains, because exercising your brain is harder. It's harder than exercise. You can pick up weights. It's pretty easy, but exercising your brain, you got to sit down and read and focus. You got to write. You got to watch some things that maybe you're uncomfortable with, take in some new ideas that maybe you don't agree with, and listen to the other side. But yeah, people don't, they stop. They stop, like what Wolf said, after the first couple decades, they stop doing that. And then you get stuck. It's fucking crazy, bro. I see city kids trying to be country, but they don't understand is you can't just put on boots and say you're country. You have to be hardworking, spend your life hunting, fishing, and baling hay. It's true. Dude, being country is like trendy now. Like it's cool to be country. And it's like, if you ever grew up in the country, it's not fun. I'm like, it's a lot of work and it's harder than, putting on, like you said, putting on boots and a fucking cowboy hat and jeans. You're like, I'm a fucking country boy. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, I grew up in the suburbs, but all my grandparents and a lot of my family, they're all from the country and they still live in the country. So like I spent a lot of time out in the country when I was a kid. And then people now, they're like, oh yeah, I'm country, man. Like it's cool to be country. And you're like, bro, it's a lot of work. Have you ever worked on a farm? I'm like, it's not fun. You're shoveling shit. Yeah, like you said, baling hay, shoveling shit, running a tractor. Like, it's not flashy. If your boots are clean as a motherfucker, you're not a country boy. You know what I mean? You got clean shoe or clean boots, clean jeans, clean ass hat. You ain't country. I live in the country. That doesn't even make you country, bro. Like, you can live in the country and then dress up like a country dude and be like, oh yeah, I'm a cowboy. No, you're not. Other words, you said, Raisin, you should make content and show us how it really is. Yeah, that'd be cool. Dude, there's plenty of people that watch that too, man. They can't even ride a horse. True. That's true. Damage. Big damage. Or milk a cow. Yeah, man. Or skin a fish or skin a deer, or shoot a gun. Like, dude, I know people that are country and I'm like, oh, you shoot guns? They're like, yeah, I have a couple times. I'm like, dude, you're probably not even a good shot. You know what I mean? Can you hunt an animal? Can you feel that adrenaline pump through your blood and still hit a good shot from 100 yards away? No. Can you catch a fish? Can you kill it, skin it, cook it? No, you can't do that. Can you raise crops? Do you have a garden? Do you know how to pick stuff? Do you know how to prune things? Do you know how to pollinate things? No. Do you have a compost pile? I have a compost pile in my backyard, bro. I have a fucking compost bin. Like, a lot of people don't know how to do this stuff, man. Like I said, being a country is not flashy. It's a lot of work. I make NASCAR content, but I quit gaming. Make a second channel about it. Yeah. Dude, you absolutely could, man. There's people who watch that stuff. 100%. But I'm having a great time with you guys. But I'm pretty hungry right now. And it's getting late. So I got to eat some food. And I got to fucking head my ass to bed. So I appreciate all you guys. This is real. This is a real ass conversation. It's always a good time. We always talk about cool stuff on here. So fucking all you guys, I hope everybody has a good rest of their week. Get your stuff done, do what you got to do. You know, try to be better than you were yesterday. Your only competition is yourself. Don't worry about other people, what other people are doing, what they post, blah, blah, blah. Be yourself. Do what you got to do. And enjoy your life too. You know, I know we were talking about some stuff tonight, you know, in the more negative context or whatever, but, you know, life is good and we're all blessed. And there's a lot of good things to be happy about, a lot of good things to live for. So focus on those things. You know, be true to yourself, man. Be true to yourself and what you believe in. Don't let other people tell you what to believe, tell you what to follow. Follow your heart and do what you think is right, man. Even when people tell you you're wrong, if you think it's right, then you are right, you know? So fucking buenos noches, Roberto, pinche madre. Okay, hasta luego, amigos. I will see you guys here soon. All right, good night, guys. Peace.